Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Yen Vision. Here in this channel I'm going to discuss about different topics and chapters and different points that of environmental science MSc that we have in the Ignou syllabus of the 4 semesters, in the first semester, second semester, third semester and the fourth semester. And let's start with the first semester. In the first semester we have the MEB 11, MEB 12 and MEB 13, and gradually I will be discussing about different topics of the MEB 11. So to start with, let's discuss about the first topic, and first of all I want to discuss what we have in MEB 11. These are the topics we have in MEB 11. The first it's divided into four blocks: for block 1, block 2, block 3 and block 4. In block 1 we have the concepts of environmental science, just environmental science in a conceptual way, in the basics, and we will be discussing about what are the basics we have in environmental science. And then starting in the chapter 1 we have the introduction to environmental science, to introduce to the students about the environmental science, what we have, what we do in environmental science, and it's what about the relations between environmental science and other topics we have. The second chapter we have the human impact on environment, how the anthropogenic activities is dealt in the environment, and that those factors which has its effect on the environment. In the chapter 3 we have the different environmental issues related to the environment. In chapter 4 we have the environmental sustainability, that is sustainability, what is sustainability I will be discussing with you all in the next episodes. In the block 2 it is the fundamental of ecology. Starting with the chapter 5 we have the what is ecology. As we know that ecology is the interaction between the relationship between the living organisms and the environment, and I will be discussing details in the upcoming days. Next, in chapter 6 we have the population parameters regulations. What is about population, what are its parameters, how it is regulated, how it is distributed, and what its relationship with the environment and the ecology. In the chapter 7, we have the community organization and the interactions among the organisms. Like what is community, what is interaction process between the living organisms and the community. In the chapter 8, we have the ecological succession and the climax. What is succession? What is all about, and how it is done? How it is the process is being done, and what is the climax stage? It's the ultimate stage of any growth of any species. In the chapter 9, we have the major biomes of the world, and I must say this is the very important topic in Ignou exams. Many questions come in the semester exams of June and December from biomes and from the succession. So these two topics are very important for the students. And in the block 3, we have the ecosystem dynamics and processes, consisting of the chapter 10 is the principles and concept of ecosystem. Like what is ecosystem? It's the functional unit of ecology, and how it is what are the concept of the ecosystem, how it is done, how it is maintained between different species. In chapter 11 we have the energy flow and the material cycling, how the energy is being flown and transferred from the sunlight, for its energy through the plants to the herbivores to the different levels of the food chain, and ultimately it's being converted to in the air. And then we have the human ecology, and the ecology related to only the human activities. In the chapter 13 we have the restoration ecology, how the ecology is being all the environment is being degraded and how it is being restored after being degraded. In the block 4 we have the domains of environmental science, and it is this part is a more a hypothetical or a theoretical part, consisting of the environmental education, the awareness which is required for education and for the sustainable development, so that the environment is being maintained in a proper way for the future generation also. And in chapter 15 we have the environmental economics and the economics related to the environment policies. In the chapter 16 we have the environmental management and policy. What are the management required to mitigate the environmental problems, and what are the policies done by the policy makers to solve the different environmental problems. And in the chapter 17, the last chapter of this paper, we have the sustainable solution for environmental crises. And as we know that there are many problems, crises, and harmful effects that causes change in the environmental scenario, and which requires a sustainable solution. We need to have a proper solution that will be sustainably helpful for the future generation also. And all these topics I will be sharing with you my knowledge that will be helpful for the students in the exams. So let's start with the block one, the concepts of environmental science, with the chapter one, introduction to environmental science. So what is this actual environmental science is? Environmental science is the interdisciplinary academic field or the topic or the subject that consists of physics, biology, geography, and having ecology, chemistry, botany, zoology, mineralogy, oceanography, limnology, soil science, geology, physical geography, atmospheric science, and all the study in the environment and the interrelationship between all these topics, all these subjects, and and the problems that come in the environment and how we mitigate or how we solve these environmental pollutions to have a better environment society. So, what is it? Is this environmental science? So, we all know that the increase in human population in the Earth in the planet, and that causes the economic pressure in the in the Earth, and also causing economic development. That results in the environmental change, climate change, and also in the global warming and the rapid urbanization, and all that results to agricultural lands in development to the to many cities, and causing to pollution of like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, land pollution, and also the noise pollution, and different technology that has been developed in the nowadays, and that resulting in the degradation and transformation of the um, land areas to different technological areas. So all these activities like the urbanization, agricultural to a city life, and the pollution by the air, water, soil, and also the development of technology from the land, all this environmental change has resulted to harmful in the human health and also to the society, and and most importantly to the earth. So it's very important to sustainably use of these resources, because if we use these resources irrationally or illogically or randomly, if we use these resources, and then ultimately at one stage of the life and at one day these resources will be finished, so there will be no more resources left for our future generations. So it's very important to sustainably use these resources for our future generations, so that they can might use the resources for their own purpose also. So and also that these resources should be used within the carrying capacity of the planet. And what's all about this carrying capacity is, it's the earth has its own capacity to carry those resources. So if we use these resources randomly or irrationally, then at the end someday, as I said before, that the resources will be finished and will be no more resources left for the future generations. So it's very important to sustainably use the resources in the present day scenario. And also the emissions that are done by the humans, like the causing the air pollution, water pollution, climate change, ozone depletion. As we know, ozone layer is important in preventing the ultraviolet rays, which is very harmful for the human health. So this pollution has resulted in the ozone depletion. So it's very problematic scenario in the today's day-to-day life. And also release of the toxic chemicals like different minerals harmful, like arsenic and other magnesium, cadmium. These chemicals are very harmful for our human health, and it's being done by the different anthropogenic activities as well. And also the genetic diversity has been declined day to day, like the genetic the diversity has been declined due to pollutions, and also the food security has been gradually day to day lacking, and all that result in the disruption of the ecological balance. And that, like food chain, there's a problem in the food chain process also. And food chain, as we know, that the food which has been transferred from the plants to the herbivores to the carnivores and to the omnivores and other trophic level is been hampered as because of this disruption of the ecological balance. So these are all the problems that we face in the environmental scenario. And also we know that there's a biodiversity loss, and that's causing the species resulting to species extinct. As we know that many species have been extinct in the past also, and it's being many species are getting extinct into daily purpose without our knowledge, or even without our knowledge. And we also know that India is a large biodiversity country. More than 1 lakh species are found in India, and the species the daily extinction of species is a great danger for the biodiversity scenario of Indian point of view. So this biodiversity loss is a great problem for environmental science. And also degradation of natural resources like the minerals, coals, and many forest resources are very harmful for, as I said earlier, that there's this resources once if we continue to use this and exploit the resources in a daily irrational way, that one day will come that the resources will not be will be finished, and there will be no more resources left for our use. And also the unsustainable use of agricultural practices, like the agricultural practices in a illogical way. It's not in a proper systematic way, and not in a proper process that will produce or yield many agricultural crops that will be economically beneficial. That has resulted also problem in the environmental science. And also the development or in the introduction of many invasive species from outside by intentionally or by accidentally has also resulted in the death of the native species. That has resulted to the decline of the own local and native species by the due to the presence of the invasive species. And also, as I said, over exploitation of the mineral resources of the coal, minerals, and other forest products is a problem of the environmental science scenario of the today's life. And also the illegal logging of the forest products, like as we know that by the poachers in the wildlife trading, these all being done by the in a illogical way, in a illegal way. And we also get to know some news from the as we all know from the Kaziranga forest or the Manas forest. The rhinos are being killed for the horns, which they are traded illegally in the foreign countries for by the poachers. So this illegal logging and the wildlife trade in an illegal way is very concerned for the environmental situation. So this biodiversity loss, natural resource degradation, unsustainable use of agricultural practices, invasive species, over exploitation and illegal logging, and wildlife trading in irrational ways are all the major environmental concerns for the society. And also we know that we cannot survive without the natural resources like food, materials, energy, as these are our daily needs. So due to this climatic change, the habitat destruction of the animals is a burning topic nowadays, as we know that many animals like tiger or elephant or very forest, the big animals are having their habitat degraded due to development of our purposes purposes, land development, roadways construction, railway construction. These activities have resulted into habitat destruction of the animals, and these have been made done due to the climate change of the in the environment. And these have all of this process have resulted in the Earth to produce a different planet. And also so these are all the environmental concerns. These are all the environmental problems that we are facing day to day life. So it's very important to understand the complex environmental systems and to interact between the natural and the human components, to have an interacting relationship between the human and the natural resources, so that we can link these local and global processes to have a collective action, so that we have a proper environmental day and have a healthy life for our own benefit. So these are all the these questions might come in some of the semester, that what are the problems of the environmental society, or what are the environmental concerns in our society. So this points may help you in writing the answers in a proper point wise uh, answers, because we all know that in Ignou exam the page limitations are there. You cannot have extra sheets, and also time limited is there, because you have 10 marks and 10 questions. So you have to finish all the 10 questions in the proper limited time. So, it's important to write the answers in a point wise. So it's very important. It will be helpful for the examiners also to give you marks, and also you will get more marks if you write the answers in a point wise manner. So what does the environmental scientists do? That include I do also some researchers in the environmental also, like the scientists do the research in identifying, controlling, and eliminate the pollutants and the hazards that come in the way of the human activities, and which affect the environmental health. They In the research process, they collect the data, and they collect the air sample, water sample, soil sample, analyze those environmental data from the secondary data, and to produce the secondary data from the primary data. They also help in making the correlationship of this data with the human activity is find out how it is related to our human health, whether it's positively related or it's negatively related. So this make their process to produce a correlationship between the human activity and this data collection. And also after this finding the analysis, they prepare reports and they prepare presentations to find to new findings, whether they find a new findings or they whatever findings they make out of this analyzing the data. And they focus on the environmental issues that affect the environment. They also focus on the human health that affects the human activities also that affecting the human. And they also make plans to prevent, control, fix the environmental problems and to mitigate the environmental pollutions. They find out how what are the solutions that may come out to control the environmental problems. And they advise the government officials to make policies, because ultimately the government officials are the policy makers, which will make the policy and to they will make the policies and to mitigate those environmental problems that the done by the researchers. And they also help the businessmen to follow the policies, that what are the techniques or what are the activities they need to do by a businessman to make up their business without hampering or degrading the environment. And they also assess the effects of the developmental projects that prevent new problems, because every development projects has nowadays they have to make the projects without hampering or degrading the environmental society. So it's very important all this to access the projects without degrading the environment, so that there must be no problems in the environment. So these are this is the introduction of the environmental science, which we come to know about the environmental in the first chapter of this paper. So I hope this will be helpful for you all for to have a basic knowledge of the environmental science, because this one or two questions come in every year, in every semester, from the environmental science basics or concept. So I believe this will be this if you study this chapter in a point-wise manner, because writing elaborately won't help you any cause, because I that I said earlier that time limitations are there, page limitations are there. So it's important to for you all to write in a proper point-wise, in a proper systematic way, in a concise way, in a proper time. So I hope this presentation is helpful for you all, and I will be coming to you for the next chapters also. That will and I hope this will be helpful for you also. So if you want more channels for more episodes from my channel, so please like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon again. Thank you.